Hey Tyler, good to be here with you.
How's it going, Jason?
All good. Good to be on South African soil after both being in China. Two incredible trips, both of us there at the same time. I was down all the way in the south, Shenzhen, the tech hub. You were all the way there up north. And of course for the very important and incredible Beijing Auto Show 2024.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about some of those highlights. I know you were there with Chery Motors. You looked at Jaecoo, Omoda, Chery, the whole brand, and how much they really are doing things at another level. They're taking in new engineering and bringing things to new heights in the automotive space.
Yeah, so China was a blast. Being at the Beijing Auto Show opened a lot of people's eyes. You've seen Chery, Jaecoo, Exceed, Jetour, just all part of that sub-brand of Chery. Just the different models from the lower end to the high end, the businessman car, the young teen car, or I should say young adult's car. Just brilliant models.
100%, and I think that's the thing with Chery. They've really come and knocked so hard in the South African market space, brought to such impact because they bring, as you say, cars at all different price points, from your sort of more affordable commuter city car to the luxury family SUV. I know some of the models you looked at, which we I think all incredibly excited for in South Africa, at such talking points, such as that J6 with its just that boxy urban design, the electric power plant. You drove it. Tell me a little bit about it.
That car was actually a brilliant. When we saw that car for the first time, a lot of us were just immediately drawn towards it. It almost resembles that big G-Wagon that everyone knows about. With that, it competes against the Suzuki Jimny,
Okay.
but obviously with the EV motor in it. So if we do want it in South Africa, they'd have to better the infrastructure, but surely they would definitely do well.
Definitely, and I think one thing that's so important with those cars, that design, I think that any of those squared off boxy cars, they just speak in terms of style. I mean, as you mentioned, the likes of Mercedes-Benz, the G-Wagon, it's like the ultimate, status symbol. And I think the J6 will also become a Chery status symbol. People are going to clamor towards and just want to be seen in that car. So very cool. You then, of course, looked at like the big family, like the Tiggo 9,
Yes.
and what else? There were a couple of others that you looked at there that were also from both the Jaecoo and Omoda brands. Yes. Across the board.
With the new J7 PHEV being out, that was a brilliant car. We drove it on a small parking lot test track in China, and we were impressed. Just the Jaecoo brand as well. You already see so many of those vehicles on the roads in SA, so they surely will make waves in the future to come.
Talk to me a bit about engineering. You looked at some of the construction, the different componentry going into the cars, and you coming from the engineering and the background where you understand a lot of the workings of how things fit together. Tell me some of the incredible stuff you saw there.
Yeah, so at the Beijing Auto Show, at the Chery booth, they had exploded views of the lithium-ion battery pack that's used in the cars, the clutches, the gearbox. Just you could see all that went into working and making that car. There's a lot of work that goes in the production line. We were also lucky enough to go to the Chery factory in Wuhu, and just the quality of vehicles produced there. Everything is automated. There were about 4 workers in one of the factories.
Oh, wow.
And just everything's robotic, so there's no space for human error. All the cars will be the same.
And as someone who's an engineer in the robotic space, I think you're the right guy to have been there to have seen it, because you understand how all this stuff works, and for that to really impress you the way it has, it just shows you some of the Chery's future forward focus thinking, that whole new energy, new era, the slogan thrown around the auto show, and how much Chery is dedicated to really bringing their cars and taking the whole automotive sector into the future.
Yes, definitely. So it's brilliant what Chery is doing, with them being overseas, Indonesia, Australia, China, South Africa, Russia, Ukraine. So there's a big demand for them.
Literally representing across the world, across the continents, and across the board in terms of spectrum, from everything from small compact little city cars to the luxury family car right through. So of course where I was, there was also so much in the way of electric cars on the road. I think something like 80% of the traffic in Shenzhen was electric cars. I'm sure you saw plenty of it up in Beijing as well. And woohoo, the green number plates as opposed to the blue plates,
yes,
symbolizing full electric, or otherwise a lot of the hybrid electric. And I think that's also where China's such a forward-focused country, so modern. I think a lot of the world has a perception that China's maybe catching up on the world, when in fact they're so far ahead in so many fields. And seeing everything, getting the feel for the infrastructure, the place, the way everything's laid out, it's clear that China's on a mission to really broaden things and really revolutionize the world of tech, vehicles, technology, automotive, you know, just across the spectrum.
Yeah, with being in China, just open your eyes to what we're missing out on and what many other countries definitely are missing out on as well.